So, are we ever too old to make change in our lives? I think it's a very subjective question, and I don't know if there's any right or wrong answer to that. I really don't. Your answer is going to be just as valid as mine with that. And I think my own take on this, certainly, I think if I had been asked that same question just 12 months ago, my answer would have been quite different to now. The short answer for me is no. You're never too old to make change in your life. However, I do think as we get older in life, it becomes harder and harder. And I look back on my working life. And when I talk about making change, I'm really referring to our work life, not so much our pastimes or taking on a new hobby. I think we can do that at any age, so long as, touch wood, our health remains well. But I'm talking about really career-wise. And I think that the longer we go through life, the older we get, the harder that becomes. And I figured out based on my experiences for a number of reasons. And I look back to my 20s, which was my first full decade when I started working. And every decade thereafter, I was generally very happy in the work that I did. Not always completely, but mostly. I'm a glass half full kind of guy. But I always felt that if you weren't happy doing what you're doing, just get out of it. Do something that makes you happy. But I did start to see a pattern starting in my early 20s of my peers, people that were older than me in the 30s, 40s, 50s, and even beyond. And in a lot of cases, they weren't happy doing what they were doing. And it used to both interest me and surprise me that why were they doing something they didn't want to do? And it wasn't until I got a few years under my belt that I really started realizing it. And more noticeably, it happened quite a lot when I was based on cruise ships in my 30s and 40s. And there I noticed people that had been doing a particular line of work on cruise ships for about 10, 20, 30 years, but they weren't happy. And I remember thinking, why are you doing it? I mean, it's you're giving up so much of your life to be in this space. Why are you doing it if you're not happy? But I figured out that in more recent years that I think as we get older it gets harder to make change, because I think it's very normal to go through knocks in life, and I think those knocks have an effect on you to a degree that you may lose self-confidence, you may think you don't have what it takes to start over, and that's how we can get stuck year after year after year doing something that we're not in love with, that we don't like, but it pays the bills, but we feel it's too late to change. And I certainly felt like that even recently. I mean, when I hit my 50th birthday, I'm 53 now. When I hit my 50th, I was not in a happy place. I was not fulfilled. I just wasn't happy. But I didn't know what else I could do, to be quite honest. I'd been in the tourism and hospitality sector for over 3 decades. And yeah, I felt it was too late to start something new. But it could have been the stubborn Irish in me. I kept looking. And that came to me last year when I was age 52, and I learned how to start marketing online. Now, when I look at the space that I'm in now, that's where I circle back to the question, are we ever too old to start over? I and this is where my short answer is just no. It's just not, because I coach members in the online space, and my youngest member is 18 years of age, because that's the minimum age requirement. I have members in their 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, both male and female, and my most mature student or member is 74 years young, that started last year at 73 learning how to market online. So that's why I have the opinion that I have. However, I think this is relatively new, because we didn't know any better for decades. That there was no other way, really, right? And that's just how much life has changed now. So it's a journey. It's a continual journey. But I hope you find some value in it. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Because, say, that's just my opinion. Your opinion is just as valid, even more so than my opinion. But I'm absolutely of the opinion that it's never too old for change, to start something new. It's what goes on between the years that can prevent us from doing that. But if you step into a space where you have everything you need, and that you have the support structure and the community that you need, anything is possible. Anything is possible. So as always, I'd love to hear your comments. I do pride myself on answering back the comments myself in real time. So please I'd love to hear your take on this. Drop some comments below. I'd love if you could share this with your circle. Like it if you could. If you have not yet subscribed, if you're on my YouTube channel, please subscribe to my YouTube channel and click that notification to get some more information from me. As always, thank you so much for watching.